If Donald Trump is elected as president for the USA, do you, from an Australian point of view, see him affecting the sneaker community? Oh man, what a question. Like, yeah, I definitely think that if Donald Trump is elected president, it will absolutely affect the sneaker community. It'll probably make it a little bit easier for you to go cop a pair of shoes because there's going to be riots everywhere, and then the front windows to all your favorite sneaker shops are all going to get smashed out. And then you can go in there whenever you want, you can get whatever shoe that you want, and you don't have to worry about paying for it. And no, that is not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. How old are you? I am 29 years old, but in December of this year, I will be turning 30. What inspired you to do YouTube videos or just get into sneakers in the first place? Me starting out on YouTube was actually just a complete fluke. I remember the very first video that I ever did was a video compilation of my friend's drunkest moments on Skype. And what I mean by that is when I first moved to Australia, the only way for me to keep in contact with my best friend back home was through Skype. And 90% of the time when I would talk to him on Skype, he was just completely wasted. And if for whatever reason you are at all interested in seeing that drunken compilation of my friend on Skype, you can click right here on this video and it will bring you directly to it. But what I'm getting at is after I edited that video, I realized how fun it was and I just wanted to continue making videos. So when I got into sneaker restorations, I thought it was the perfect time to start editing and uploading my own videos. Do you ever go thrifting? By the way, I'm Sneaker Fiend on YouTube. Yo, what's going on, my dude? Thank you very much for being active on my Instagram and asking this question. And to answer that question, no, I really don't go to the thrift shop. It's not that I don't want to, it's just that there's really not that many around here, and the one thrift shop that I can actually go to, it would just be wicked awkward to bring a camera in there because it's so close quarters, and like it would just be super awkward for me to walk in there with my camera filming me looking through all the racks of clothing, and it's just not my thing. The homie Heat Ledger asks, what is your biggest sneaker purchase regret? In other words, a shoe that you bought and realized now that you didn't need or shouldn't have purchased. Man, that is a good question, to be totally honest with you. I don't really have any massive regrets when it comes to buying shoes, but there are two pairs in particular that stick out in my mind for some reason, and it is the metallic Air Jordan 3 Lab 5. When I bought that shoe, I don't know what it was, I was like, yo, I need to have this shoe. And then when I finally got them, I put them on feet, and when I looked down, I was just like, yo, this is the most illogical shoe that I've ever seen in my life. There is nothing that I can wear this with, and I'm just gonna sell them. So I sold the shoes, got my money back, and I sent them off to a new owner. And then the other pair of shoes that I had regrets when it came to purchasing them were actually another pair of shoes that I did not realize that I was going to regret until after I wore them, and it had nothing to do with how the shoe looked, but everything to do with how the shoe felt. The Air Max 90 Lunar Infrared. I know Air Max 90 Infrared is my all-time favorite shoe, but that shoe right there was easily the most uncomfortable shoe that I have ever worn. What gear did you start off with on YouTube? In all honesty, I used the webcam that was on my laptop at the time, and if you don't believe me, you can go back to the very first videos on my channel and go see for yourself. Seriously, the quality on those videos are just shocking. Who is your favorite rapper and who is your favorite rap artist of all time? As of right now, my favorite current rapper would have to be Kendrick Lamar. That dude is just going in on every single track that you hear him on. And as far as my favorite rap artist of all time goes, that is such a difficult question to ask. Why would you ask that question? It would have to be a toss-up between The Game or Vinnie Paz. I know, two completely different ends of the spectrum. I tried painting my Air Jordan 1 sole with Angelus black paint, but it keeps on wearing off. Any recommendations? Yeah, I got the answer to that question, bro. It is 3 simple solutions. Number 1 is the most obvious. Just don't paint the bottom of your shoes. It's not meant to be painted. It's meant to be walked on. Number 2, use some sort of sole protector after you have painted the bottom of your shoes. As long as you have that sole protector on, it is going to keep the paint on there, but you do run the risk of the paint actually peeling off when you do remove it. Or number 3, you can invest in some of Raleigh Restoration's scratch-resistant sealer. That stuff is absolutely insane. You make a lot of restorations, but mostly Jordans or Nike. Would you make any other retro restorations like Reeboks or 90s Filas? The reason why I do so many Jordan and Nike restorations is because that's what people bring me. If someone brought me a Fila or a Reebok and I felt that I could bring that shoe back to life, you bet your ass I'm gonna restore it. Who is your favorite wrestler right now? Shinsuke Nakamura, man. How much do you get paid on YouTube, and is it your only job? And dope content, shout out to you. Hey, thanks, bro. And to answer your question, no, YouTube is not my only job. I wouldn't even really consider this a job because at this point, it's still just a hobby. If you want to be making money to live off of YouTube, you need to be making videos every single day, sometimes even multiple times a day. Me personally, I work a full-time 40-hour-a-week job in a warehouse from Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends, I do the YouTube thing and the restoration thing. But if you really need to know how much money YouTubers make, I'm not 100% sure on how the ad revenue works, but I'm pretty sure that you get $1 per every 1,000 views. Yeah, that's really not that much. How did you and xChaseMaccini get to know each other? His story might be a little bit different to mine because I'm just not 100% sure whether or not he's going to actually remember this, but it all started on Facebook. I was scrolling through the group Nike Talk. Do you guys remember that group? Nike Talk, the original Nike Talk? And I saw one of his posts and it was advertising his work. It was some of the best custom work that I'd ever seen, and I saw that it had a lot of comments on it. So I clicked on it to see what people were saying, and it was just a complete tidal wave of people just asking him for advice. So I decided to comment on this post after seeing all these people just asking him questions about how he does what he does. And I just told him, like, yo, when you get to a certain level, this just comes with the territory. People stop looking at you as a human and start looking at you like an encyclopedia. Now at the time, I did not realize that xChaseMaccini was already actually a very established name within the sneaker community, but that did not stop him from reaching out to me on Facebook. We would message one another on Facebook periodically, and then eventually we just sort of lost touch. And then a year later, he reached out to me on Instagram, and the rest is history. One thing that I will always love about xChaseMaccini is that dude stays grounded regardless of his status. He is a brand name dude to the fullest extent. Are you coming to the USA? Well, I mean, yeah, I'll definitely be back in the USA. I just have no idea when that day is going to come because that shit is expensive. What was the first sneaker you customized? It was a pair of Air Jordan Black Tongue 5s that I painted all black. And now take into consideration, this was long before Angelus had a flat black option and long before there were any instructions on how to actually use their duller. So I used Angelus regular black and Angelus matte finish with no duller in it whatsoever, and those shoes came out shiny as hell. They looked horrible. Were you born in Australia? No, I was not. I was born in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. The homie Just for Kicks asked, which celebrity would you love to do a custom for and why? Like I said in the past, I am really not a custom dude. I like doing restorations, but if I had to choose one celebrity to do a custom shoe on, I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I can't really think of anyone. I got it. WWE superstar Enzo Amore, and the reason for that is because he's a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. Now my friend Brett asks, TJRB or intro into changes and why? Come on, bro, what kind of a question is that? You already know what I'm gonna choose. Intro into changes all day long, and the reason for that is because Floor Punch is unfuck-withable. They're one of the greatest bands of all time. There's no question there. There's absolutely no question whatsoever. Except for the question that comes next. I have an hour commute. Give me some hardcore bands to listen to. Don't worry, bro. I've got you covered. I will name 5 bands right now that hopefully you don't already listen to, and it is American Nightmare, The Hope Conspiracy, Caught in a Crowd, Floor Punch, or Rude Awakening. Do you plan on having kids, and where in North Carolina did you live? Yeah, I would absolutely love to have children one day. I have no idea when it's going to happen, but I will be very excited when it does. And I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. 28211, baby! Can I have raisins? Yes, you can have raisins. Just sit over there. Just shut up. Shut up. What would be your grail? The one shoe that you wish that you could have? Alright, so this is actually going to be a little bit of an unconventional answer. I could just name off some random shoe and go on to the next question, but I'm not gonna do that. I don't really have a grail anymore, to be totally honest with you, and the reason for that is because restoring shoes has ruined my passion for collecting. Now, I'm not saying that I no longer have a passion for collecting shoes. All I'm saying is that since I've started restoring them, that passion has dumbed down a lot. I'll put it to you this way. Pretty much every single shoe that was on my list of grails has been in my possession at one point for me to restore. I had it in my room, I could take it out and look at it whenever I wanted to, so that pretty much just kind of took that desire away from actually wanting to own a pair for myself. Now, my list of grails is an extremely logical list, and I guess the best way for me to describe it is that I will not put a pair of shoes on my list unless I know that I can realistically obtain it for myself. Now, I know that a lot of people's all-time holy grail is the M&M Encore Air Jordan 4. Let's just keep it real here. You and myself will probably never have the opportunity to actually even hold a pair of M&M 4s in our hands, let alone actually own a pair for our own collections. But if I had to choose a pair of shoes right this moment to call my grails, I'm gonna choose two. Am I allowed to choose two? I'm gonna choose two. It is going to be one pair of shoes that I know that I can get and another pair that I know that I will never have in my entire existence. And that pair that I know that I can get is the Air Jordan Cool Grey 3. I actually had that shoe in my collection at one point in time, but when I wore the shoe, the heel tab snapped off completely and I felt that I just did not want them anymore. So I sold them, I got rid of them, and since then I have not been able to get them back in my collection. And the pair that I know I will never be able to get into my collection is the $20,000 Air Jordan Carhartt M&M 4. Has anyone given you fake Jordans to work on? If so, did you break down to them how they were fake? Yeah, I have worked on fake shoes in the past, and the very first time that I did it, I brought it to the customer's attention, and their response went something like this. Hey, what's going on, bro? Yeah, the shoes are all finished right in here, man, but hey, did you know that these were fake? Yeah, I did know they were fake, actually. Is that a problem? Oh, nah, it's not a problem at all, man. You do what you need to do, bro. Sorry about that. Yeah, so things got a little bit awkward during that exchange because the dude was fully well aware that his shoes were fake and he just didn't care. And in return, that made me realize that I really shouldn't care either. So ever since then, anytime that I work on a fake pair of shoes, I just keep my mouth shut because I know that it's none of my business. Anyways, that is going to wrap it up for this Q&A session. If I did not get to your question, I do apologize, but you can leave it down below in the comment section for me to answer in a future Q&A. Thank you guys so much once again for tuning into my channel, and as always, have yourself a good day. Peace. Fucking Donald Trump.